Hi, welcome to Atlantic International University. I know you just start finishing most of the training videos. I'm pretty sure you're very excited to start working as an admission counselor. Well, I'm going to show you some things that are definitely necessary to learn more as a point of view of a daily basis working. One of the things is going to be the PMS. Today we're going to talk about the PMS and how to change status. It's very important that you learn how to change the status and what are the parts of the PMS, so that way, which is the prospect management control, that way you could definitely be more efficient during your working day. So let's start talking about what are the status available. We have actually open, terminated, hold, not able to contact, enrolling, enroll, and expire. Now we're gonna see each one by one, and we're gonna see how and where can we find it. First, let's go to the part of the PMS. Actually logging in the PMS. Okay guys, now you see you're gonna receive this link, which is basically the link that you need to paste it here. You're gonna have your username and your password. Try to put it remember, so that way you don't have to log in back all the time. Basically, this is your prospect management control. Now we're gonna talk one by one, but today let's go to the principal part, which is the prospects. You could go through here, or you could go to prospect control, and then you have prospect list, prospect search, which prospect search is going to be here as well. So let's go prospect list, okay, or prospect. The same thing is going to take you here. Okay, now you want to work comfortable. Let's toggle this so that way you could see more clearly everything. Well, now you see you're gonna have the prospects. This part, first of all, you're gonna have their ID, their name, the phone, the email, the degree that they're applying, the country where they are from, the day that you actually receive the prospect. This is the principal part that we're gonna talk today about, how to change the status. And you could put comments. You could put, actually you open profile. Here is gonna see the whole information that you see on the line. You're gonna see in this bar, in this window. And actually you're gonna see the name of the prospect, the day that you receive the prospect, their email, their phone numbers, and basically the mayor. Now you could see the general info, but you could see the previous request. For example, this prospect applied in 2015 in July for a master in humanities. He's definitely a French speaker. So, and then we have another one that he applied this year for a master in health. Probably he learned English now. Let's see. Now, let's talk about this part, which is the status that we're going to concentrate today. Then we're going to start talking the rest one by one, but let's concentrate on how to change the status, okay? And I welcome you to navigate your prospect management system, so that way you could get more familiarized and comfortable while you're working here. Now, when you change the status, you're going to see here, after you talk with a prospect, of course, that's when you change the status. And you select, you're going to leave it in the following ones: open, enrolling, terminated, and so on. Well, let's talk about when we leave the prospect open. Okay, you put the prospect open, meaning that you talk with a person. Not that the relative actually answered the phone and says it's not here. No, you talk with the person and you actually have a full interview. You have the full interview and you determine how viable is for application or not. Now let's go back to the actual slides, so that way you could see it here. Now, when we leave open a prospect, well, basically for the following reasons. Like I say, after you have a full interview, you determine that doesn't mean financially wise, no, doesn't actually make it. No, maybe it's a family of 5 and then only are $200. There's no way they could do it, right? You could give me the information, you never know. Maybe somebody else wants to pay for them, but as of now, he is not definitely, or she's not ready to start. Let's talk about when we leave open a prospect. Well, basically for the following reasons. Like I say, after you have a full interview, you determine that doesn't mean financially wise, no, Another reason could be you call them, I want to do the master, they want to do the master, but they just graduate last month and they haven't have a job and they're planning to pay later on, so probably they're planning to start later. You provide information and as in now you could leave it as open. Or maybe the prospect wants to apply for a master, but it's only in the first year of a bachelor. Now, when you have actually a prospect applying for a master and is still a student, you could allow them to start their master only if the prospect is in the last year of the bachelor. Okay, if they're applying for a doctorate, they have to be in the last year of their master in order to apply for the doctorate. So on the contrary, if they don't have a high school, they are in the last year of high school, they cannot apply for a bachelor. They need to have their high school already on hands before applying. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so basically another option, and that's when those are the reasons when you leave it open. Okay, so let's go back to my. If you talk with this person, okay, with Sekou Kamara, and basically this person doesn't qualify financially, so you're gonna schedule a call back. No, because I already talked with a person and then I put it submitted. Okay, when you do this and we change the status, now it's yellow. Okay, so every time that you put open, this person is in yellow, right? You gotta make sure, put your notes. Don't ever please forget to put always your note. This is the only way that you can actually remember that you talked before with a prospect. Otherwise, there's not gonna be any record. Okay, so it's important that you put your notes here all the time, and at the end you put submit. So that's one way. Let's talk about the other status, actually terminating. Okay, now when we terminate a prospect, well, a reason to terminate a prospect, it could be maybe the person that we call doesn't speak English. By the way, just talking about the languages, the program is available in fully 3 languages. Okay, English, Spanish, Portuguese is fully available. We do allow French speakers, but they need to have an intermediary level due to the fact that the system, their student section is going to be in English, the tutors, they're going to be English, and their advisors, they could actually be bilingual. They could speak French and English. They could find some books in French, but they need to have definitely intermediary or advanced English to start. Okay, that's one reason. If that person doesn't speak nothing at all, so that could be a reason that you could terminate. Another reason, maybe they want to study something that we don't provide. Remember the programs that we don't provide? Well, those are in medicine, your nursing, medicine, gynecology, any type of health. Practicing on hands experience, or law, for example, we don't do that. In those cases, I terminate. If they put a request that they want to study medicine, I terminate the prospect. Now, my tip is those I select and I send a massive email letting know that we don't provide those programs, but we do provide the following programs, and if they are interested, they could contact me back. They could write me back, and I'll be happy to help them to apply with us. So I always give it the chance and the opportunity to at least know that we provide more programs. Maybe they could contact me back, and sometimes could happen, and I was able to enroll like that. Now, another reason is maybe that person wants to study on campus. We do provide online, so we cannot definitely, that's another reason. Another reason is maybe it was a wrong number, no interested to study, or maybe there is no a chance that they're going to increase. Not only $100, family of 6, a little hard. Anyhow, let me put you through the screen how it terminates. So let's say that this prospect, I already talked with a person. He is a French speaker person. Okay, so he has a previous French speaker person, but I talk. Okay, I called him. Okay, this is just a practice. I call and he's a French speaker. He doesn't speak nothing at all English. So I'm gonna change the status. I'm gonna put here, of course, my notes. Okay, what is the reason that I'm terminated? Because it's a French speaker. So this is an example. Okay, you need to call. Now I go status, I change it, and the next one is enrolling terminated. Okay, I put terminated, I submit it, and now this is what happened. It's not there, right? It was removed from there. What happened? Well, we have here prospect tab, and then we have a terminated list. If you click the terminated list, you're gonna see Sekou Kamara. It was terminated, right? So it's here. It's in the terminated list, just in case. Okay, so it's gonna be removed from your prospect list, and it's gonna be sent to the terminated list. Let's talk about the next one. Okay, the next status, hot. Now, hot. Okay, you call the person, you qualified it, you do the interview, and then after you finalize with the interview, you definitely realize that that person actually qualified academically and financially, qualified both. Now, there are some reasons that sometimes we're gonna always make sure to engage the prospect so that we could bring it into the program now, not in 6 months or next year, because those are hard to really track later on. So unless they contact us back, so it is good that we determine we helping. If we, even though we helping, they could come up with a reason that is gonna be hard, sometimes to not to definitely let them go. So one of the reasons would be like, I call this person and he says, Katia, I'm gonna get married next month, and I'm planning to study after I come back from my wedding or after I get married, so I'm gonna change it as a hot. Probably I'm gonna make a schedule, a call back schedule, because they're good. It just right now is not the right time. Next week I'm gonna have my finals, my thesis, and I'm about to graduate from my bachelor. I'm also working, but need to apply for my master next month or 2 months from now, because they are doing their exams, their final exams. Put it hot and call schedule back. I'm pregnant. Be careful with those, okay? Especially if they're getting near by the day that the due date. Those are things that definitely is gonna prevent it to study. Another person will be when the employers pay. Now, this is something that you need to definitely play when the employers are going to pay. We're going to have a lot of cases like that. Some cases definitely come through, okay? I'll give you more tips on that probably in a different, when we talk about tempos, about which emails to send about the employer situation. Maybe they say, oh no, let me talk with my husband or with my wife. Could you call me back next day? Okay, so we put it hot. I need to double check the accreditation before I get into this program. Those are the reasons. Let's give an example of how to do. Okay, so we have another. We're gonna play with this one. Oh, okay, this is a good example for terminated. Okay, we have this person, medicine, terminated, but we're talking about hot, right? So let's play with another person. Well, let's play with this person that is medicine, okay? Well, let's say that we call this person, it's a different program, of course, and it qualifies but isn't actually ready now. So we're gonna put it hot, okay? We're gonna call back. Yes, we're gonna call back. You could do it through here, schedule call, put the day. Now in February, we're gonna call back at the end of March. You check, of course, your calendar. So let's put it at 30, and the hour that you want to call in, 12 or 1, for example. So, and then you submit it. Now, but before I schedule a call, I'm gonna put no, okay? So you can see how it changed. Okay, I put it hot, submit it. It's hot, ready to go, and it turned on green, okay? And it stay here, remain on the prospect list, remain here. Now, if you schedule a call, it's not gonna remain here. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be removed from this prospect, and it's gonna be in a call schedule. So you put it change the status. Now I told you to schedule a call. Yes, on March, the hour, the day, the time that you prefer. Okay, then you submit, and it's not gonna be there. You see, no anymore, right? Now it's actually in this tab. Now this tab is only show you the call schedules that you have scheduled for today. Now you have a schedule for the future. It's gonna be here. You see it? For the future. I put this person, okay, Sebelo medicine, you remember? So that's for the future. Is there. Now those are when you don't update, you call the schedule, and actually it got stuck here. You know, you need to go one by one and manually move here, change status, schedule a call, and move it a day, right? So you gotta do that manually, basically, okay? Otherwise it gets stuck here. Personally, I don't schedule my call through the PMS because this is what happened. I got a lot of people to call back, and then I forgot to change the day, the hour, and I got busy, and then I got 100, 200, 300, and it get really hard to follow within. So what I do, I use my calendar or my email, which I'm gonna show you in a different video. But let's talk about the next option that we have on the PMS, which is not able to contact. Now when we have when we put a person that is not able to contact, maybe the number is wrong. So if you change the status with not able to contact, the system is going to send an automatically email that is gonna let them know that we were trying to call them and that they could update their number on the system, or they could send us an email back. So basically that's an automatic email that the system generates when you change the status. Another thing, maybe in this part, when I put not able to contact, sometimes I do use the massive emails to send actually the email not able to contact. Is good for me because allow me to let them know everybody that I'm trying to get in touch with everybody, even without even call them, but at least sometimes they reply me and then I call immediately, so I could gain some time. So when we talk about the massive emails, I'm going to explain you about this part. So let's do the practice for not able to contact on the PMS. To the prospect tab. Prospect, you could do it through here, you could do it through here. Same thing, it's going to take you here. So we have, let's talk about here, for example, okay? An example. Okay. We have this prospect. Let's click it so we know we talk about this prospect, and basically I call this prospect, but the phone didn't work, it didn't exist, and so I had to change it. Put my notes, put my comments. You could put it here that the phone is wrong, or maybe somebody answered and say it was a wrong number. So it's gonna see every time that you put a comment and you submit, it record the day, the hour. So I close here and I put status, right? Change the status, and I'm gonna put not able to contact. Now, do you wanna call back? No, because I haven't. Not really. It's a wrong number. So I'm gonna put submit, and in run is gonna disappear from my prospect list, and it's gonna go through here to the not able to contact tab. Okay, you see it in run is here, right? So you got it. So let's talk about the next actually status. Let's see which one it is. Enrolling, the favorite one. Everybody, let's go enroll. Well, this enrolling one is definitely the person that you call and you qualified it financially, academically first, and then financially, and you close. Remember, close is the key. You meaning that you arrange the day that they're gonna pay. You set the amount. Sometimes you could facilitate with payment plan. So you set the amount the day that they're gonna pay, and they are ready to go. Okay. So basically, when you change the status to enrolling, they're gonna definitely go to the e-list tab. I'm gonna show you this on the PMS, how it works, this part of the enrolling. And my recommendation is every single day you must add at least 4 to 6 enrollings to your list. Now, why? Because the day that you don't add is the day you didn't work. What happened? Let's say, for example, you add 4 today and tomorrow 5. 4, 5, you are in that range. Okay, let's put it that you add 5 every single day. 5 times 5, 25. Now we have from Monday to Friday 25 people that they say, I'm gonna pay. Kathy, I'm gonna pay. So what we do is basically, you have 25 possibilities. Out of those 25 possibilities, at least 3 to 4 they're going to definitely pay, and some of them they might ask you for an extra time or extra week to finalize the payment. And that's how you increase your people. Now the week that you only add 5 people the entirely week, that's the week that you're not going to enroll. Okay, so you definitely need to work every single day and add enrolling people who qualify as prospects, who qualify academically and financially, and they are close with the day. Okay, all right, so let's do the practice of this on the okay, let's go to prospect, click prospect, and it's gonna take you here, prospect. Okay, now in the part of prospect, let's give an example. Okay, let's play with Ahmed. Okay, I'm playing with people with young people, so that way I don't feel bad that I don't lose them. So let's play with this Cleopatra, 18. All right, I talked with this Cleopatra. She qualified, she's ready to go. Let's see the profile. Okay, everything okay. Cleopatra from Zimbabwe, going for a bachelor in human resources. This is the number, and basically I put my comments before I change the status. Always put your comments before you change status. Then I submit the comments, and basically you coordinate that she's going to pay. Now when you change the status, you put here enrolling, and then you submit here. Okay, and then they're gonna ask you when. Now remember, they're gonna ask you select payment method. Now, which payment do you coordinate? Maybe you coordinate wire transfer. Okay, try to get cards, but if they don't have it, coordinate the one that they could do it. So she said wire transfer. She says that she could do it basically, well, today is Sunday, so she could do it actually on Wednesday, the 24th. Okay, so we going to, if she's gonna pay Wednesday, are you gonna call them Wednesday? No, you're gonna call her back at least Tuesday, so you could follow up. So let's put the 23rd. Okay, schedule enroll day. I'm gonna put that so I could call it the day before. Okay, and I put submit. Now she's out of the list. Okay, she's not on the prospect list. Now she's not gonna go to the e-list precisely here. Okay, because the same thing like the call schedule, the e-list is only going to display the ones that you have it for today 21st, no tomorrow or within 5 days, no, just today. Okay, it's gonna tell you how many you add today. Okay, you have expires, and now basically you have the same thing like the callback schedule, the ones that you have expired and the ones that you added for the future. Okay, now in this part, one of the things that is very important, because when you have it here, work and look at your e-list is going to be hard, and this is something that you need to learn. Okay, if you want to put notes, you follow with a person, change the day, I won't recommend you to use the e-list tab. You're going to use this one. It's super useful. Search engine tab. You could go through here, you could go through here, let's put a search, and it's going to take you here. So it's going to take you to the search engine. Now This is the way that we're gonna always, and remember this part because this is gonna be useful every single day. So you put a status. So you have some parts here. You could put the name, the last name, the email, the country, the age, the day, everything now. But we're gonna search by actually status enrolling. Okay, let's put a search. Okay, and this search engine part is super important. Now you're gonna have all the list of prospects that you have in your e-list for next week. Okay, so see, you have Cleopatra, and it's gonna be easier to work. Now, why I say and I emphasize that it's gonna be easy to work? Because, for example, okay, you wanna track by country. You click country, and you could organize them by alphabetical order. Okay, and you could call it. So we call all the Zambian people, all the Nigerian people, or or Cameroon, or etc. So basically, you could organize. If you click the title, for example, usually the country, because you work with the hour time, or you could go by the day that they enroll. Enroll day, and you could work your expire list, for example. I just click enroll. Okay, and you see it here, and it's organized by the day. So this is the expire 16, that was last week. I need to update to see what happened with this student. So basically I could update it. I talked with that person, with Joshua, and he was having actually some difficulties how to send the money because of and he told me that he is looking for a relative to help him to pay directly. So I need to follow with this person and see enroll day supposedly 16, but I need to call them back to see what's up, and that's gonna be tomorrow. So submit enrolling, and it's gonna be tomorrow. Is gonna be the 22nd, right? So 22nd schedule enroll day 22nd, so I could follow. That's how I update. So it's not there anymore, so it's updated. So you could update all your expire. It's gonna be easier for you. You could track actually the people that you add per day, for example. Okay, let's go by today, for example. I added today one. Well, this is today's Sunday. You're not supposed to be working, so it says that I added just today and the other days, right? So, and you could also organize by the age. You want to organize by the age. So it's very simple. Definitely, that's the best way that you could work with your e-list. It's gonna be easier for you to update, put notes, and change the date to call them back. Now, another trick. You see a blue phone here. Okay, it's gonna be very useful for you guys, because every time that you want to put an extra note, let's see this example that I just told you about. It was Nigeria, right? So let's put a country. So let's put Nigeria. Joshua. Okay, you click here on the gray phone, and you could put some notes. Looking for a relative to pay. See? And then I submit. Click here. And now you'll see. Let's organize again by country. See, Joshua, blue phone, looking for a relative, and I don't have to open my notes. I know the key thing, what is about this prospect when I call him tomorrow. Okay, so that's one way to do it. So let's go back to the next. Actually, status. The next one is gonna be enroll. Now, enroll basically is gonna be you changing this status when you receive a proof of payment. They pay the registration, and basically they're not gonna be anymore a prospect. They're gonna become students. All right, and basically they're gonna have the tutors. Remember that you, as an admission counselor, you work with your you have a tutors that work with you. Your team leader or basically your trainer will advise you, who are your tutors that you work with. So that way every time that you receive a comment from a student, okay, you could help them transition. Sometimes it's not that you're gonna answer, but you could pass those comments to their tutors and they could help them back, hold them back. Okay, remember here the main key for you is that you concentrate. You could answer few simple questions for tutoring part, but it's not your job, and that's, you just need to know at least, giving some answers while the tutors contact them back, and that's what is so important to do that phase one, so you could have the sense what they're gonna encounter, basically the student. Okay. And another thing, when they become a student, they pay, I advise two things. If they didn't pay me with a credit card, I advise to get a Visa card, a MasterCard. I don't say credit card because it's hard sometimes to get a credit card. They could have a debit card, even a prepaid card, and they could pay internationally. So I advise them to get a Visa or MasterCard so they could pay basically next time. And remember, you could get a bonus if you get that card before the end of the month. So they enroll today, the 21st of February, and you get their card in automatic payment March before the 21st, then you could get the extra bonus. Okay, so that's one. Another thing, I always ask them, if they are more than welcome to refer me with their colleagues, family, relatives. I'll be more than happy to assist them as well to start with their career. And I get some referrals. Okay, I say, and it helps. Definitely, it helps. All right. So let's talk about the next. Basically, this part of enroll, I'm not going to do the example because one, you need to have a payment to put in the system, so I'll have a payment right now. So that's one thing. Another thing, you need to do an application. That's why you need to know how to complete an application for them. If they don't do it, you need to do it for them. So you need to do the application. So when you have a payment, we'll help you. Don't worry. Okay. So let's talk about the next one, which is the expire. Now the expire is basically a person who you call them 2, 3, 4 times. Leave a message, they don't answer, never answer, or call me back, then you call them, they don't answer. So you could change the status in expire. Let's give it an example. Really, let's go to the prospect tab here. Okay, and then we have here an example. Okay, you call in a lot of times, Ahmed. You call in, never answer, never answer, never answer. Or say call me back, and then you call and never answer. So okay, you want to remove it from your prospect list, and you put expire, and you submit this part, and it's gonna be removed out of your prospect. No more Ahmed. Okay, actually, I'm sorry, it's not supposed to be here. Okay, it's expired. It remain a prospect. You could look at it through here as well because there is a expire tab. Let's go back again. What happened here? Yep, actually now we have, now we could see it here, and we could see it here. Well, that's helpful. That's helpful. Okay, so we see in the true tab, in the both tabs. All right, so let's go back to the tutorial. Let's see what other list options we have. Okay, now this is another video how to create massive emails. So now we learned basically today how to change the status. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to do the massive emails in a next video. And please don't get overwhelmed. Ask questions every time. Either your team leader or your trainer, communication with your team members, your team leader and your trainers are very, very important. So please keep tuned for the next video and enjoy your day.